Alright, here we are at the kitchen table workbench, if you will. And this is a motion sensing light. Now when I first moved in here, I didn't like the fact it stayed on so long. So I took the cover off, and there's an adjustment for how long the light will stay on, what the range of detection is, you know, how far away it'll detect motion. And the third is how long it will detect before it comes on. And so I started adjusting it, and lo and behold, this thing stopped working. So I did a little looking around online, and everybody said, oh, you know, you just shut the power off to it for 30 seconds, it'll reset, plug it back in. Did all of that. It seemed to be detecting motion because I was seeing the red light, which comes out right through here. And when I pushed it, it would beep, but it wouldn't come on. So I thought, well, let me see here. So I whacked it a couple times up here with a screwdriver. And sure enough, the light tried to come on. It would just blink. And I'm told these have a high failure rate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up and see if I can figure out what the hell's going on in there. Now, these have Torx screws in here, which is completely unacceptable. I've got a nice big selection of Torx bits here. Even the smallest one is too big. I tried Allen wrenches, sometimes making those work. One size is too small, one size is too big. And then I tried my miniature screwdriver set, and lo and behold, we've got a winner. So we're going to take these off and open this up and see just exactly what the heck is going on inside of here. Maybe we can fix it. Maybe we can't. I hope so, because they're like 20 bucks at the store. Which, granted, I wouldn't have to pay for, the landlord would have to pay for, but I'm the one that has to deal with it. So, three and four. Take the plate off. Pull the front off. There's a little tab, which I assume does something for ground or something. It's just on that one corner. Goes through a little slot. And then you've got this LED holder. And let's take that out. Oh, that's not the LED, it's the little beeper. But in any case, there's your motion sensors up here, and the three settings for how long the light till the light goes out. Of course, these are all just sit on here. They'd fall right out if you didn't keep track of them. And since they're, I don't know if you can see that or not, but they're kind of a cross on the bottom. So they'll go in more than one way. So you kind of got to pay attention to that. And I think the those little tabs on the bottom in here are what serve as the stop. So I'll have to be careful with that. And let me poke around in here and see what I find. Interesting poking around in here is this switch on the bottom, and I'm not sure what the heck that does. I think it's entirely possible that that got switched to the wrong position. I'm going to have to see if I can look into that, but let me see if I can find anything else loose under here, because it does seem strange even with that switch in whatever position that smacking it was making it come on for a second. Alright. Interesting. This switch is manually on. The light will be on all the time. Auto, which should use the sensors. This also has a light sensor in it. I guess that's what that third adjustment is. It adjusts how sensitive to room light it is. And then off, which would be completely off, like if you wanted to service it, you know, change a light bulb, whatever. So, but that still doesn't explain why this thing was, you know, coming on for a second when I smacked it with the screwdriver. So we're going to try to take this right out of the box. And there's a couple of clips. One on this end. You can't really see the clip. The light's just not good enough, but we'll pry that out a little bit and push in. Yeah, now we're up past that clip. And we'll do the same thing over here. Pry it out. We're going to be gentle because we don't want to break it. And see if we can't. Ew. That's good. Pry this out a little bit. Maybe push on it with another screwdriver. There we go. Now, of course, these wires are a little stiff. So we got to kind of straighten them out. You can see this is starting to come up now. There we go. Now, take it out through the back. Yeah. I suspect that when I'm smacking it, that this relay, that the contacts are bouncing. I've got a magnifier on my head. I'm going to give this a quick look. See if I see, because this relay is mounted to a circuit board, and that board goes through and is soldered directly. Sometimes things like that are prone to breakage. Same thing with all of these here. They're all direct pinned from board to board. So I'm going to take a look. See if I see any bad solder joint going on there. You can see this whole thing kind of has a little motion to it that probably not the best design. But I honestly am not seeing anything suspect with that thing mounted on the board there. The relay seems to be mounted solid. As it should be. I don't see any kind of loose wire. And when I move that, I'm not seeing any kind of weird motion on any of the traces on the circuit board. Like I said, the relay where it mounts to its circuit board looks good. I don't see any issue there. And I know that this is not really very old either. There were some issues in this building not long ago, and a lot of rewiring was done. And I can see through the side here. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a couple of, come on, focus. There we go. See those two metal posts? That's where the windings from that coil inside the relay attach on. Those are really, really thin wires. I suppose it's entirely possible that one of those broke off, although I tend to doubt it. If I wanted to really get into this, and I really don't, I could take this all apart, take the cover off this relay, really inspect that, and make sure that that thing's not somehow disconnected in there. But knowing a little more about how it works now, perhaps we'll see. Now here's a something. If you look, come on, focus. there's a cutout in the board right here to accommodate this wire. Now, wire is pulled up through that board further than it should be. Just lousy assembly. There's not much I can do about it now, because if you try to push the wire back through, come on, focus, it'll hit the side of the relay trying to push it back through. It's been pretty hard at that corner. But it really should have been routed more up over that edge into that cutout, and it really wasn't. Yeah, like I said, I can't really push that up through at this point. There's just not enough room to really, maybe. Let's see what we can do here. You still in view? Yeah. I think trying to fix that's going to be a lost cause, but it really should be up. You can even see this. It's hard to see, but there's a flat spot. See the flat spot on the wire where it was pushing hard against the side of the box. But we'll put this back in here. Call it a day. And see what happens when we put this all back in the wall. All right. Get those two wires up through there. Yeah, sometimes you pull something like this apart, something makes itself quite obvious as being a problem. Come on. Jeez. Very difficult to get this through here. Guess they're working with limited space here. Anyways. Put that up through there. Put this one up through here. Push the whole thing. One of the things I want to look at is this actual switch on the back of this board. Oh, I see. It's just a standard switch. Alright. We'll put it back in automatic operation. Push this down in here. Nice and careful. And we are clipped back in place. Alright. Now, going backwards to what we did before, we'll put the beeper back into its clip, which now seems like it may be more easier said than done. Of course, right? Now, I purposely turned all of these all the way to the left, so that when I put them back on, come on, focus, focus. That's a little better. You can see I got it turned all the way down. I did that with all three of these, just to make the assembly a little easier. Now, turn that. Oh, yeah, we got to put that metal clip, goes through that corner. Get that back in place. Ah, jeez. Of course that's going to be difficult, right? There we go. Now, I have to use the screwdriver to pop these all back through here. There we go. Yeah. All right. And we'll put the plate back on and put these screws. We'll get one started first. We'll go with this hole first. That other hole has that metal clip, that metal band for the ground. A little harder to line up. If this was like in a commercial building or something like that, I wouldn't even bother. I would just leave it as is. And replace it. But I figured it was worth a look. Show you guys what's going on. This has some nice, interesting features. There's a, come on, focus. Focus. There's a little adjustment here. And what that does, you can kind of see it up there in the sensor window. It reduces the field of view. If you have an area that you don't want to be picking up, let's say, I don't know, let's say it picked up traffic from a hallway and you just wanted it to pick up when somebody was actually in the room. But I don't feel the need to close that up or narrow that down for the application I'm dealing with. I'm not quite sure why that this opens on the bottom. There's nothing there. Yet it is hinged and it does clip, but this is the manual on button. And I just realized that somewhere there's a little plastic bezel that goes in here, and that has dropped out of there. So I'm going to have to find that so we can put that back in. I'm going to pause you. I'll be right back. And we're back. This little plastic bezel thing goes in there. It's kind of a pain to put in here, but it is part of the assembly and it does belong in there, so we'll hold on to it with forceps and try to get it in there from here. Come on. Yeah, back on the floor again. Not where it belongs. A little tricky to do. Same time, it came out earlier. I figured out if I just push on this with a screwdriver, take that off, I can just set this back in there. All it does is transmit light from the LED that's back there. In fact, that LED is not really sitting exactly where it belongs. In fact, it does two things actually. It, if you look in here, again, let's see if we can get this thing to focus. Focus. There's the light sensor and there's the LED. LED and the light sensor. So this little plastic bezel actually transmits light in to the photoreceptor and transmits light out for the indicator. There's an LED indicator in there so that when it picks up motion, it kind of gives you a clue as to whether it's the wall switch, whether it's the wall switch or whether it's the light bulb. Like if it's blinking, then it's detecting motion. If it's not blinking, then it's not detecting motion. If that makes any sense. Come on. Stand back up. This is a little tricky in here. I don't know why they made that so complicated. They should have just glued the thing in there. It would be a whole lot better. This wasn't that hard to do before when it was on the wall, which is kind of weird. There we go. Yeah, you can see the focus. Has a hard time because of the background, but anyways, it sticks right up into the corner there, and you can switch that. So, all right, so this is all back together. Well, together minus the decorative cover that goes on there, but I want to be able to adjust these. And there's a nice little chart inside there. Again, here we are with the focus. There you go. There's a nice little chart in there that tells you what those three things each are. And the first one is the time. And with it turned down all the way, it shuts off after 30 seconds. Which is actually what I would prefer, because it would be rare that I would need it more than 30 seconds. And to start with, that's a good. The range, 1 is the minimum, 10 is the max. I'll just put it up around 4. I think that's fine. And then the light sensitivity, if you turn it down all the way, you have to manually push this to turn it on. And because it up at 10, it will always react to motion. And I think for the moment, that's where we're going to go, because the hallway really doesn't have that much light in it. So, let me pause you, and then we'll go in the hallway. Alright, this is the hallway. There's not much light, and I can't really get close enough without the light. So, what I'm going to do, prop this door open. Yeah, that's not good enough to prop that door. Alright. Let's, see, I've got my toolbox down here. Let's see if we can get a little closer to this and still be able to see. As you can see, there's not much light in here. I'm actually at the top of a set of stairs. It's not the most ideal situation, but it is what it is. Come on, focus. What the hell? There we go. Now, I'm doing something here I don't advocate, and that is working with live wires. Again, I don't advocate it, but I did want to check everything for power when I started. So, I'll go ahead and hook up the ground. These are just wire nuts, standard fare. If you've done any electrical, you know what these are. This one is a piece of junk, which I thought that from the beginning. I've got a whole jar full of wire nuts. So just throw them in there. Alright. So I'll grab the ground first. Yeah, I feel like grabbing much better already. Yeah. And then we'll go for the neutral, which is the white one. And then this, which is hot and is actually live. Again, I don't advocate that. You could hear that thing just beeped, indicating that it does have power. And it does not work in off or on. It does not come on. I'm not sure what's up with that. I'll find out. Push this all back in. Upside down. Geez, that's still not wanting to go back all the way. That one needs to go down a little more. And then the other one, room enough to fit. There we go. Now, and this should be on. Aha, that works. So let's put the screws back in here. As we know, it basically works. Turn the range up. See if this thing shuts off by itself. I can turn it on when I get to the top of the stairs. There's another one of these at the bottom of the stairs that works. So it's not like I'm completely in the dark coming in the door. Now, it should shut off after 30 seconds of sensing no motion. Back near it. Is it blinking? Yeah, see, it's blinking still. You can just see that. And that about does it. I'm just going to leave it and try opening up the door later and see what happens. Alright, it's been a little while. We're going to open up the door. And look at that. The light works. How about that? All's well that ends well.